Hi, my name is Matt Armstrong, and welcome to Data-Driven Decisions. This is a Skill Up VA entrepreneurial workshop brought to you by Germanna Community College in partnership with Fred Exchange. So what is data-driven decisions? Well, first of all, how do you make decisions? Do you make it by gut and intuition purely, or do you use data and analyze the data to come to a reasonable decision that can maximize results? Well, speaking for myself as a startup founder, my sophistication level of making decisions has really evolved over time. And the goal of this particular workshop or video is to help you in your process of deciding how to make decisions and implementing strategies that create effective results to increase productivity and profit of your business. So when we talk about making data-driven decisions, it sounds kind of really complicated, but I really want to strip it down to its simplest form. Whether you're a startup entrepreneur or maybe you're a team member of a technology company and you're taking a new product to market, maybe you're an executive that's looking for an innovative way to create a new revenue stream. Really, all of those processes you can use data to drive decision making and ultimately, again, increase productivity, increase profit, and decrease the opportunity for losing a competitive advantage. So really, when we're talking about creating a data-driven decision process, really you want to keep it simple. And I like to think that you start with a problem that you're trying to solve. And within that particular problem, you're trying to identify what are those data points that we can collect that will help us minimize the unknowns so that we can maximize the information that we have to make a strong decision. So let's just say you're a restaurateur and you've done a great job of customer discovery, and through that process you've created an MVP, you've got really great validation around your product, and the next big decision is where to locate your business. If you're interested in locating in a brick and mortar setting, you want to know if there's a critical mass of customers within a given area that will frequent your business and drive revenue. And so using a data-driven decision mindset, one of the ways that you can identify where these customers are located is through some type of geolocation data. You can collect that through your website. Maybe you can create a list and identify based on address data where the zip codes are that your particular customer base is located. Maybe you've got a list of 10,000 people and you identify that really 7,000 of those people who really liked your product stand outside of this particular region, but there's 3,000 that existed within a given area that you think would frequent your business. So I would take the 3,000 and really drill down and find out more information about their behaviors. That could be through an email. Maybe you shoot out an email and it's got a promo code that drives them to a website and they give you feedback on the website. Ultimately gathering all this data and drilling it down to help inform solving the problem around if I locate across the street from the school, is that going to be my best location, or is it the first right turn home? And those are hypotheses that you want to validate with real data. It may point to the fact that you're the first right turn home and that was the best decision you plant, and it ultimately validates whether or not that decision was solid. So when you're working through a data-driven decision-making process, you want to keep the strategy simple. You want to collect data that's going to be very informative and it's not going to create extra steps that decrease productivity. So the whole idea of keeping it simple is, first of all businesses gather data. They gather it through cash register, they gather it through their website, they gather it through marketing campaigns, they gather it through social media, they gather it through casual conversations with their customers and their partners and stakeholders. All of that data is good data, but it's only super good if it's meaningful. So being able to come up with a strategy that develops meaningful data is starting with the problem and your desired outcome and reducing the unknowns so that you can get to a point where you feel comfortable that 80% of this decision feels good, 20% kind of doesn't, and that's maybe for you that reduces enough risk to say, yes, this is a green light. Maybe that's not enough and you want to drill down a little bit further. So you create more data points and collect that data, and it gives you a feeling that 90% good, 10% not good, and you make the decision. So the whole idea of keeping it simple and streamlining the data-driven process is critical to ensuring a good decision. So when developing a data strategy, you really have three questions that you want to answer. First is, what data do you currently have, and what data do you not have? The second is, what problem, hypothesis, or solution do you want to get to? And the third is, what cross-functionality that you can pull together, such as your website and Google Analytics, to produce data that's meaningful to make a decision. So sources of data become really important, and you want to make sure you have quality sources. Where do we get data from? Whether you're an entrepreneur, small business, or corporation, well, you've got your website, you've got your customer account information, you've got your accounting systems, customer resource management, you've got historical data on customers, you've got social media analytics, web analytics, and hopefully a host of analytics where you're able to clearly identify customer behavior and use those sources of information to inform a data-driven strategy. In developing a data strategy, there's really three critical components. The first is the timeline, setting a realistic timeline that is achievable with the resources that you have. The second is identifying really what return on investment you want to achieve. Really pointing back to the whole outcome is a good return on investment, whether that's financial, quantitative, qualitative return. Identifying those ahead of time should drive the strategy towards the results that you want to achieve. And the last one is really, is this a standalone event or is this a reoccurring event? If it's a standalone event, setting the parameters for the data strategy are really important. If it's recurring, what resources do you need? What are the critical inputs and outputs so that this could be a sustainable program providing data that's meaningful over the long term? Entrepreneurs and businesses that collect data and use that to drive decision-making show higher success for productivity and profitability. So when considering a data-driven decision strategy, whether you're the first-time entrepreneur or you're really looking at scaling your particular business, it's important to think about this process holistically and to apply all of the things that we discussed to create a great strategy that drives the outcome that you want to achieve.